on our YouTube channel. And if you take a look, y'all should be able to see yourself. So wave at the camera, everybody.
Good job.
We are broadcasting from the Doyle Convention Center in Texas City for Leads 2022. We are honored to be here today. I'm Kurt Casper, and this is
Gardy Garcia.
So we're a media company called Clear Live Media, as you can see, and we are based out of Lamarck, Texas. Yet we travel all over Galveston County. And I'm going to go ahead and remove this camera off of here so you guys say bye. I'm just going to switch back to us. So we have this wonderful opportunity to share with you guys about our video production company in media and marketing. How many of you guys have shot video before, watched a video?
Who's ever watched a video?
Everyone's hand should be up.
Right.
So there are plenty of different careers. TikTok, Instagram. We're seeing the use of video being more prevalent today than it ever has been in the history of the world. And that's really, really exciting for our company. That's really exciting for people who are interested in using this field, because making videos and creating content is not going away. Gary Vee, who is a really important entrepreneur who talks about business and video, he said 5 years ago, he would have spent $300,000 hiring somebody to do professionalism, to talk about accounting and stuff like that, right? He said, today, I would pay somebody $300,000 to make video content for my TikTok. So we can see that there has been a shift in marketing and how businesses are operating and running their companies because video has become so prevalent. I will tell you, there are clients constantly, every single day, who reach out to us asking for, hey, I need Instagram Reels, I need TikToks, I need commercials that play during the World Series, I need stuff like this because I need to get my brand in front of a bigger audience. And you are constantly being consumed by this brand. So our company is very important because there aren't a lot of video production companies in Galveston County. And today we're going to talk a little bit about what we do, why we do it, and kind of how you guys as young people can actually get involved today, getting your career set for the next future. So Gardy, I mentioned earlier in the first session, talk a little about how you got involved in this and why we started Clear Life.
Okay, so me and Kurt got, I guess, how long have we known each other?
7 years now.
7 years.
2015, 2016?
Too long. It's a long time. It's a long time. Yeah. And I'm a musician, so I grew up playing music, like in church, had my own bands and did that. After high school, I went to Galveston College for a little bit and didn't really know what I wanted to do. I started playing music and joined a band. I was just traveled all over the country. In the meantime, I kind of started doing some online school. And I just was like, I'm going to get a business degree, because actually the girl I was dating at the time had a friend, and the guy was like, I'm taking business administration. And that's what I did. I was like, it sounds good. It makes sense. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I wanted to play music. And then after I moved back home, I finished my schooling, and I ended up working at a radio station that's here in the county, and we started incorporating video. And then after we started incorporating video, I had finished my business degree, and then I ended up getting a master's degree in technical communication, and was able to learn a lot about communication with video and other means using the platform of the radio and video. So that's how I got hooked up with this guy, and that's how I got into it. It was on accident, not on purpose.
Not on purpose at all. One of the cool parts, so we had a radio station. It was KHEA radio. We kind of ran it and managed it up until about 2020, and the pandemic hit, and COVID, whatever, and a lot of things got shut down. And what really was interesting about 2020 was the use of video. Everything got shut down except for the use of video. The use of video went straight through the roof, because people were using Zooms, people were using, hey, I need to get my business out there. There were a lot of nonprofits that we work with that could not have what is called galas. And I didn't know what a gala was until I came to Texas, and until this pandemic happened. But basically, galas are like big fancy dinners that nonprofits use to make money so that they can run their nonprofit throughout the year.
And they'll raise like $30,000. You'll see these events, and we actually went to one pre-COVID, and they raised about like 40, 50 grand, right? And then they had approached us, hey, can you all make this virtual? We're like, yeah, we live stream all the time. Anyways, they went from like $50,000 that one year, but they have overhead. So I got to rent the Doyle Center or wherever it is, that costs money. I got to get caterers. A lot of it's donated, but still. They raised $124,000 and they spent $0 because we did it for free. We did it for free on the first live stream. So this nonprofit was able to stay in business, still help all of they do a lot of different things for the community, and so they were able to do it all because we provided a live stream for them that allowed an avenue for them to still be able to operate and give. It allows people to give.
Yeah, and so that in 2020, we helped almost get $1 million for nonprofits.
It was about like $750,000, yeah, in that year.
So the use of video is very, very important still today, even post-COVID, because now people have realized, oh my gosh, I can use video to share my story in ways that I never could before. And that's really exciting for y'all, because now you have an opportunity to grow into this industry where people need video content, because everybody has a story. So 2020 hits, and we launched Clear Life Media, and our focus shifts from doing just audio to now video, and we started doing a ton of different things. So we started doing commercials for businesses, so people would be like, hey, come and shoot video at my place. We would start doing live streaming, as we talked about. We've done combat sports, and then we've done some high school football games. We're hoping to do some basketball, baseball, and stuff like that. We've covered Lamarck, Galveston, Texas City. We haven't done Dickinson yet, but we're hoping to. If Dickinson is watching right now, please call us back so that we can do your sports. So those are just some of the cool things that we've been able to do throughout the course of our business, and it's only been 2 years, which seems crazy. Not even the end of 2 years yet, which has been crazy for us to be a part of. We talked in the first session about just kind of the reasoning behind doing some of this, and the fact that we can get to learn a lot of cool things. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, anything, we're pretty small still, I guess, like in staff, but anything that we find interesting, we pursue it. So like he talks about combat sports, I like combat sports, and so it's like, hey, can I come film? And then you show up just for fun because I get to go to the event, and then we found avenues to create revenue. And then we started doing pay-per-view streams for boxing, MMA, jiu-jitsu, like just different things on different platforms. And so then eventually we started doing pay-per-views on our own platform. It just makes things easier. And then you do a good job, and then the word travels fast. There's not that many people that do what we do in this area. Anything like food. Whenever we first started, we did a lot of food videos. We ate a lot of food. Like you show up with a camera and they're like, well, we need to film all of our best dishes, and then somebody has to eat it. So we'll have our friends like, you want to be in a food commercial? Can you smile while taking a bite of spaghetti? Yes, you can. Okay.
One of the cool parts, and we said this on the first one, and I'll say it again this time, is that if you show up with a camera, people will let you eat for free. So a lot of times for us, we'll show up with a camera and go eat lunch and actually film it. And we have wonderful, amazing people, clients that we work with that their food is delicious. And so that's how we started shooting video of food. That was our first thing. And we learned how to eat food on camera, which is a technique in itself.
It's awkward.
Yeah. But it's also a lot of fun too. And the cool part about what we do is every single day we get to learn something new. He mentioned 3 years ago, we didn't know what Leads Day was. We had no idea. I'm sure you guys are still learning what Leads Day is, being the first time or maybe your second time being here. So for us, we actually got to come, and we were live streaming in the back of the room, in that other room that you guys were just in at the beginning, and that was our introduction to this. We've been able to, Texas, New Mexico Power, 3 weeks ago, we actually went to the place where all the electricity comes from. So it comes from the substation and then goes to your house. And we actually got to film all of the different components of that. And we're like next to all this high voltage electricity, trying not to die with our cameras, but it was so much fun. because we got to learn about the different things. I can tell you things that I never knew about how electricity gets to your house, or the fact that they have little gates at the bottom so that snakes can't go in to there and get electrocuted. So that's crazy that I didn't know about beforehand. And then obviously, like for the sports, the high school sports that we go and do, like for instance, the drum majors. You know, there are things that happen at Santa Fe, there are things that happen at Dickinson, there are things that happen in Galveston, Texas City that we didn't know about going in. Texas City has a maritime program where they get to drive a boat during the school day. You know, like how crazy is that? But I didn't know that until we actually shot the video. So there's a lot of really cool things that you get to learn about in here. Can you talk a little bit about some of the challenges that we've had
Yeah.
you know, that they could possibly learn from?
Yeah. There's always going to be problems. Like in any business, whether you pursue video or just life in general, there's going to be challenges all the time, like every day, you know, big and small. The thing that we have found for challenges is like, especially if you're at a small, like let's say you start a company or you're like going to be a vlogger or you want to be an influencer, starting where you're at, start with what you have and not being scared, because that's actually someone told me the other day, it was what's everybody's greatest fear. You know, a lot of people will say, well, I don't know about failure. Failure is a fear, but it's just like being embarrassed. You know, I remember the first time I did anything on the radio or did commentary, like I'm still not like a public speaker, but you know, you just get used to it and it's like you don't care. Like you almost have to like just cast that off. You care the most, and that's like one of our biggest fears, you know, being embarrassed, getting past that, starting where you're at. You're gonna run into challenges. Don't do something the same way just because you've always done it that way. It's okay to like not go with the flow necessarily, but like, hey, we're gonna shift. This isn't working, let's shift. You know, not being married to the idea of doing something because it's always been done that way.
Right, we've talked a lot. One of the cool things about our company, because it's two people, is just because it's been done one way, doesn't mean that you have to keep doing it that way. Just because ESPN does it, doesn't mean that Clear Life Media has to do it that way. So that's kind of allowed us to pivot. Just because KHOU is doing something one way doesn't mean that we have to do it the exact same way that KHOU is doing it. And that's one of the cool parts about you guys as young people, is you guys have an opportunity to come into this industry, come into a field, whatever field that may be. Because I know this is your second choice. I understand it wasn't your first. I'm not salty about it at all. But because you have that opportunity, you can come in and say, I want to do it this way. You don't have to do it the way that people are, and that's the flexibility of this company, of this industry, yeah. Is that you get to kind of shape the industry. Because tomorrow TikTok may not exist anymore. Tomorrow Instagram may not exist. Tomorrow Facebook may not exist. And how do you adjust? So for us, we've talked, you know, we live stream on Facebook, we live stream on YouTube. In the future, our broadcasts are going to be broadcast live on Instagram. So, and we would have been on Instagram today, but I forgot a cable, so we didn't get a chance to do that today. But all of those are opportunities right now, but come tomorrow they may not exist. And so we actually live stream on our website. So right now this is on our website, and we have a website that we can actually take the stream to just in case Facebook doesn't work, just in case YouTube. I mean, there have been days recent where Facebook wasn't even working. You couldn't access Facebook. And if your business solely relies on Facebook, you can't operate that day and you have a chance to lose some money. And obviously we like paychecks because then we can pay our things like our rent and food. So we don't have to go and film video every time we need to eat. And so those are just things that we kind of adjust and kind of work through. Mm-hmm. Talk about a little bit about what are ways that, you know, like communication and stuff like that, how important is being able to communicate your ideas? Yeah,
I mean, communication's everything. Whether it's like me and Kurt working as Clear Life, where they're communicating with each other, because we're not going to see things the exact same way every time. There are things that we agree on, you know, 100%. But there's a lot of stuff. Yeah, it's very rare. There's a lot of stuff we don't. We see it. But just picking, and this goes for friendship, family, significant others. Like if you get married one day, that's just, you got to pick your battles and realize you're on the same team. You know, we are on the same team. We both want the same goal, right? At the end of the day, we want Clear Life to be successful. How do we get to that end goal? Because we both want the same thing. So communication is everything. Communicating with a client is everything. Sometimes it's difficult because they see something one way and we see it like, that's not a good idea. But how, maybe it is. Like, how can we get to, they want it to be successful, their business. We want it to be successful. How can we get to that common goal?
Yeah, 100%. That is exactly how you make sure that your business is successful. Is you got to take care of the people that are around you. Mm-hmm. One of the things we've talked about in the past too is staffing is a really big important thing. So one of the cool parts about being, again, young is that you have access to a lot of different things that when I was interested in video, when I was interested in media, we didn't have.
How old are you?
I'm old. I'm very old.
You look
I'm
old.
34? Am I 34 now?
I don't know.
I'm
sorry.
And I couldn't go to YouTube because the YouTube wasn't even didn't
exist.
even exist, did it? No,
No.
Not when I was in high school. It didn't exist. So I couldn't go to YouTube and be like, how do you shoot video? How do you make a graphic? How can you do that? You guys have that opportunity at your fingertip where you can go and be like, hey, I want to learn how to run a camera. I want to learn how to do graphics. I want to learn how to edit video.
Start a podcast.
You have that access where you can do that on your phone. So there are different careers that do require that you take 4 years of college. For instance, I was a news and sports reporter, so I would be on TV. I worked for a Fox TV station in Omaha, Nebraska. I covered things like Nebraska football games. I would actually get to go to college football games and actually record on the sidelines, interview coaches, players, and stuff like that. But in order to get to that, I had to do 4 years of college. So there are certain aspects of this industry that you do need 4 years. But learning how to shoot a commercial, going into a business, learning how to do food videos, you don't need a degree for that.
Yeah, managing social media accounts for businesses,
TikTok,
they'll pay.
Instagram.
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunity. You just kind of have to find your niche and a start.
And we've had clients and businesses who have come to us and said, hey, we want you to manage our TikTok. We want you to manage our Instagram.
Which is funny because me and him, we didn't really, maybe have a TikTok, but don't really post on it actively. I know demographic-wise, I believe it's a lot younger people that are generally on there. So we had to learn what are we doing? But it's
what is TikTok?
Why can't we just find somebody who already has a TikTok, makes reels, and we pay them $1,000 and go shoot, for a day of TikToks for whatever company, because that's happened. Yeah.
And what's crazy is there's money in that. There is money in this industry. Did I mention Gary Vee to this class or to the last class?
Did he? I don't remember. It was this one. I'll say it.
I already did. So there's money in this. You can go out. There are video people who are making $300,000, $400,000 a year making videos, making TikToks. I saw an article the other day. Livy, is that her name? She's a gymnast from LSU. Livy. So she makes $10, $15 million a year as a 20-year-old college student just by doing TikToks. That's her NIL deal, name, likeness, and image. That's insane. $10, $15 million just to be an influencer, and 20 years old. You have that opportunity as well. So there is money in this industry, and you have that opportunity, and there are plenty of tools online that can help get you there. So staffing is really, really important for our company. We utilize on a football game, when we go and cover a high school football game, there's 10 people that we employ that actually we give paychecks to for them to be at these football games. We have clients that need extra work, and we're already booked, so we'll hire other videographers and pay them money. We have an intern right now that we give money to. So there are opportunities for you guys as young people even to get trained up and working on staff. We had a Texas City student, Nick. What is his last name? I can't think of his last name. He's in the video class at Texas City High School. But he ran a camera for us at an MMA boxing fighting match that we did in Texas City. He actually came and ran a camera, and we paid him money for it. So there are opportunities for stuff like this for you guys to grow and to expand what you're doing and also make money for it. Do you want us to switch to showing some of the content?
Yeah,
that way,
let's do it.
We're going to show in case some of our, how many of you guys had heard of Clear Life before? Wow. Instagram followers? Yeah. See? high school football. That's what I'm talking about. So, we're going to show you some of the videos. This is one of the videos that we did for a restaurant here in Texas.
We put in everything we do, from the way we welcome our guests, the way we prepare the food. It's not just the taste of the food, it's the way the food looks too when it comes out. We want everything looking just as good as it tastes.
I just like that special moment when somebody receives something special at the table.
Hi, I'm Adam Bateman, and we're at Brazilian Italian Kitchen at Mainland City Center in Texas City. We have all of our traditional Italian food like spaghetti meatballs, chicken parmesan, lasagna, but then we've got some really great dishes, some seafood, some steak dishes as well.
If grandma's sitting at the table, we want to give her an amazing experience. We're not going to open up canned green beans. We're going to go to the grocery store and get fresh green beans, and we're going to pick them and boil it and make sure that it's that absolute best.
Grazie equals grace. We've all been given a measure of grace, and so we believe that needs to come through in everything that we do, from serving food to welcoming our guests.
Just incredible service and food, and making sure that we over-deliver on that whole dining experience. Super blessed to be in Texas City. The market is definitely emerging. When you look at different areas around Houston that have developed or passed their prime, Texas City is one of those markets that to me is just on the up and up.
The city is hungry for more, for nicer things. It's one of the comments I hear every time. Man, we're so glad that we have somewhere nice to eat.
I think the more of us that really join together to serve this incredible community, the more we can continue to keep people in Texas City. The feeling is, to me, that a lot of people have to go north or south, but the more of us that continue to join and support this community, the better it's going to be for everyone.
So one of the cool parts about this video, the food is always fun to film. As you can see, it looks absolutely delicious, and I'm hungry right now thinking about it. But there are different components of this video that in a professional environment, there are roles to fill those positions. So you have somebody who's shooting the video, you have somebody who's handling the lighting, you have somebody who's doing the graphics, you have somebody who's doing the music. Those are all things that are a part of this field. Later on today for your activity, we're actually going to have you guys practice doing some interviews. Because for us, one of the things that we have to do is tell people stories. For last week, we highlighted some of the programs at Santa Fe. Andrew, you were there. Alberto, I'm so sorry. I had to interview you
Got
about.
his name
I
wrong
messed
two
his name
times,
twice now.
bro.
Your mom's gonna really be mad. Alberto, we asked you some questions, and when you saw the video, was it exactly the way that you said it? No, it was completely different. So when we're doing interviews, I'm actually setting up, asking questions, and then I'm telling the story after the fact once I get done with the questions. So the way that they're speaking about their restaurant was not the way that we interviewed that. It was not in that order, and what they all said was probably like 15, 20 minutes long. And that's a 2-minute video. So we cut that up and try to tell the story. And that's the cool part about our company is we get the opportunity to share people's stories.
Something else that's kind of scary, like once you realize that, whenever you watch something on like the TV or whatever and somebody says something, it's like, and we know this now, it's like you can make anybody say, or make it seem like, take that segment and make them say whatever you want them to say, so.
There are times when like people, even, well, not a bad way, because we've never actually like changed what people ever say,
right.
But I'll go in and cut out all the ums. So if somebody's like,
yeah.
and then they start going, I'll cut out that spot and I'll lay video. So as you saw, like they weren't up on camera talking the entire time. So they probably had some ums, and I took out the ums and had video playing over the top. The cool part about this, I just realized I forgot that our online audience right now, the Facebook, YouTube,
saw that.
Saw the video, and that video was up while we were still talking. So it's just kind of cool how that works. One of the other things that we work on is podcasts, and this is an example of
I'm excited. I'm in Humble, Texas, at the Humble Civic Center, and I have the opportunity to talk to some people that are coming in. I have a guest. I'm gonna let him introduce himself, and then we're gonna learn what he has going on. Hey, how you doing?
How you doing? I'm Justice Torres, fight 145 for Fury Fighting.
What gym do you train out of? Metro.
Okay.
Man, I've been on Ariane for about 2-3 years.
This is some of our combat stuff, but one of the cool parts about podcasting is that it's kind of evolved in the last few years. You are now seeing it go from audio to video. So the video piece is very, very important because what they'll do is they'll take that long interview, they'll cut it up into segments, and then post those on Instagram and on TikTok. So they're taking those segments and reaching you guys, and then what do you do once you see those little segments of the podcast? Does anybody watch the BFF podcast? No? Am I the only one? Somewhat? Okay. Well, I feel much better about it. You don't know what the BFF podcast is?
I'm older.
I'm going to tell you about it. It's on Barstool Sports.
I know what Barstool is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's start there. But I'll see on TikTok, when I'm just scrolling through on my For You page, they have like a 10-second clip of them talking from the podcast. And then I'll go and look at their page, and they have like 7 or 8 of those that they have now put on TikTok. And then what does that do? That gets you really excited, and then you want to go and watch the podcast, and you go and watch the entire podcast. It hits me every time. Like, I'm like, oh man, they got me again. I gotta go watch the whole podcast. So the podcast stuff is something that we really specialize in because we started as a radio station. So we understand audio. We understand what that looks like. Now we just incorporate what our specialty is, and that is adding cameras to the mix. And the cool part is you can have as many cameras as you want in a podcast. You can have as many people on the podcast that you want. And then I think there are some schools that have a podcast in their setup now, or they're starting to get that incorporated into their schools. So that's stuff that you guys could even bring to the table and be like, hey, we want to do a podcast. And you can actually go and look. There's like literally videos that say how to start a podcast. And you go and watch it, and you buy the equipment to make it work. And
You
it's
can do
really
it with,
super easy.
yeah, you can do it with your cell phone and even like just a little lav attachment to your phone. I mean, I've done it, yeah.
And that's one thing that we talked about. This is a $12,000 camera. Is that the $12,000 one? Yeah. So that's the $12,000 camera right there. But the nice thing is you don't need a $12,000 camera when you have your phone on you at all times. You guys can start shooting video today. Y'all can go and just grab video of whatever you want. And there's ways there are tutorials on YouTube that show how do you shoot video with your cell phone. And you can go and get that content. We have a gentleman that we know who actually that's how he goes and shoots commercials for clients, for businesses. He'll go and take a cell phone and use his cell phone and get different shots and clips. And I can tell the difference between a pro camera and a cell phone video, but they're starting to get closer and closer together where you can go and do some amazing things with your cell phone. You can even edit on this thing. The iPad Pro now has the professional video editing software that I use on my laptop. That's crazy. So there are plenty of ways for you guys to utilize. You don't need a high expensive equipment to make it happen. One of the cool parts that we've talked about is we get to go through some really cool stuff. And this video that I'm going to show you that's Adion. He's a professional.
It's Christian.
Oh, that is Christian. I'm sorry. The video is about Adion. This is his buddy Christian. And Christian, and then they're actually professional fighters, and they go and train and compete, but they also have businesses and stuff. So we actually, in Houston, in downtown Houston, got a chance to go. And you're going to see some really cool drone videos. So I'm a certified drone pilot, so we have a drone, we fly the drone. It's actually right here. And we go and fly the drone everywhere that we want, and we utilize it in videos. So that's an opportunity as well for a career. There's drone pilots. We have a gentleman, Dezen. He has an FPV drone, and he can fly through like houses and stuff like that. So and like showcase, like he could fly in this room and go out and show the whole Leeds event if he wanted to. So there's some really cool opportunity, and we pay him for that video, which is pretty cool. So this is that video. Let me see if I can drag this mouse over and hit the play button.
This family, like I can go to these guys for anything. Anytime I need anything, these guys are
You'll see some of the cool. Yeah. So this is downtown Houston. We got a drone up in the air. stop it there. And then, I don't know, it's supposed to, oh, it automatically changes. So the cool part about those videos is those are on social media. But we also do a lot of cool things as well that run on television. So during the Astros World Series games last year and this year, our phones were blowing up because they're like, hey, did you guys do that video? Did you guys do that video? Because there are videos that they've seen on our Facebook, and it's really cool. So we've had videos run on Hulu. We've had videos run during the World Series. My ultimate goal is to have a video that we get to run during the Super Bowl, but that hasn't happened yet because it's really expensive.
One time someone asked me, oh, they were watching Hulu or whatever, and they're like, did y'all do, there was a college, we did some commercials for it. Did y'all do that in the college? They're like, yeah, we did. It's like, oh, I recognize your voice, because I'll do the voiceovers sometimes. And it's just funny. It's like, yeah.
And so we're saying all that not to brag on ourselves, but we're saying that even in Lamarck, Texas, you have an opportunity to be successful and, see some of your stuff on the national stage. You have people that I know that have come from small communities that have gone on to work for ESPN. I have one of my best friends, I was actually at his wedding, Adam Lefko. He works for TNT and does all their basketball stuff on TNT. He was actually at my 21st birthday party, so that's just some of the cool stuff that happens that you can go off and do big national stuff. I remember thinking, there's no way Adam's gonna go big, and now he's like best friends with Shaq and Dwayne Wade, and he does the hosting every single day. Mm-hmm. One day I hope that we're there, where Clear Life is like ESPN, Fox. That would be so cool one day to have that happen. But this is one of the commercials for Superior Subaru. It's on the other side of Houston. This one actually runs on television. It's 30 seconds. And they asked for a funny one that involves their daughters. So this is one of the videos that we did for them.
It's a hassle to buy a car.
But not here at Superior Subaru. Shop online and tour our inventory, making life easier, getting to what matters.
This holiday season, shop Subaru. For the Subaru, share the love of it.
Superior Subaru, making your dream a reality.
So that one, we actually spent about probably all day Saturday. On a Saturday, they asked for 5 commercials. So we got to go to a ranch, and they had horses. We got to film them riding the horses. They had a campsite that we set up. We got to film them doing s'mores. And we turned all of those, and all 5 of those commercials ran on TV, which is kind of cool, I think. But it's fun, because it's cars, and then food and horses, and we got to get to do what we love to do, which is fun. And then finally, this fall, we actually started doing high school football games. We have Ball High, this is Santa Fe. We were there. This one was not the rainy one. We did the rainy one with Texas City. And we have about 10 or 11 people with us. They're running the graphics. When we interviewed Alberto, his video played during this.
Just short as the Eagles make another stop.
And we have announcers that are announcing, reporters that are on the sideline. And then we go to commercials.
We're going to take another commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. Stay with us.
Michaela Lopez, Santa Fe.
It's funny she's here today.
Clear Life Media.
And then we have commercials that run as well.
Nobody said it would be easy. We do it anyways, and we've been doing it for...
I will say one of the really cool parts about doing high school broadcasts like this is it's really, really fun because it showcases y'all. Some of you, who's been interviewed? Did we interview any of you guys, or were you guys in any of the, just besides Alberto? We've interviewed you for dance.
NHS, National Society.
Let's
National Honor
go.
Society. Awesome. So we get to highlight you guys, which is kind of really what is our passion, is you guys do some amazing stuff every single day. And we get that opportunity to showcase what you guys do to that audience, and that's really, really fun. Does anybody have any questions about this industry, about media, marketing, anything like that? This group is really quiet compared to the last one.
What was y'all's first choice? Or everybody was something different?
Yeah.
Probably?
everything's
Okay, cool.
different.
We had a question back here.
I just had a quick question. Do y'all co-op with any of the high schools on their audiovisual programs or anything?
Texas City and Santa Fe, we have a co-op with them, so if you are in those schools, you can actually co-op with us. There are schools that we would love to. Like I said, if you wanted to come up and learn anytime, we would take it. So we're at the end, we're gonna give you our Instagram, and you can actually shoot a message and say, hey, I wanna come and learn how to do video. Hey, I wanna come and learn how to do a podcast. Hey, I wanna learn how to edit. I wanna do graphics. Those are things that we can actually teach you guys and train you guys. What school are you?
Texas City.
Texas City, yeah. Miss Pearson
Yes.
is.
My son's in that program, so that's awesome. Oh, okay, okay. I
Yeah.
figured y'all are already in connection, but.
Yeah. So in Santa Fe is oh my gosh, Amber Madden.
Oh.
Amber Madden is that one. So we during the Santa Fe games, the students in her class, in Amber's class, actually come. Miss Madden's class. I'm sorry, I'm not a teacher, so sometimes I forget. But they actually run some of our equipment during the broadcast on Friday night. So they're running a camera, they're doing the graphics, they're helping with the clock. So we utilize students all the time. We don't do the private school in Galveston. Do you guys have football?
Oh, yeah. O'Connell's had football, yeah, for years, bro.
I'm not from here, so I don't know. But we're trying to get Dickinson, we're trying to get more schools to be a part of this, to highlight, because I think Dickinson and them would be great to add to what we do. We're hopefully doing basketball, soccer, baseball as well. So we have this schedule made for basketball, and next week we'll be making the announcement of where those games are going to be.
Did O'Connell do good this year with football? No?
We won one game.
That's a win. That's good.
Game of the week, let's go.
O'Connell was good. Like they had a good basketball team, good football team back. Good basketball team still? Okay.
Yeah.
See, we need to get them on the basketball schedule.
Yeah.
I went to Abundant Life, but like years ago, and we would play O'Connell all the time, and they were always very good.
Okay, so we're gonna break into our activity. So one of the things that I mentioned earlier is that we do a lot of interviews. Probably the majority of what we do is interview. Oh, I'm gonna say goodbye before we do our activity. We're gonna say bye to the live stream.
Bye, guys.
You guys want to say bye? Here, let's pointing at them and then end it. Okay. All right. Everybody wave.